Hey, welcome to This Farm Girl Cooks, where we keep things real, practical, and sometimes a little bit messy, but all in a beautiful way. Today I want to talk to you about something I didn't expect. And it was a birthday lesson, but here we are. Let's call it the year I didn't grill the steak. All right, so friends, every year so for the past almost 20 years, when the kids have a birthday, I say, would you like me, and my husband for that matter, but when it's their birthday, I say, what would you like to have for dinner? Would you like to go to your favorite restaurant? Sometimes it's Chili's or a Mexican place. It's been McDonald's. It's been all sorts of places. Or I'll offer to make their favorite dish for them. So they get to pick out the menu or the main dish, and I'll make chicken enchiladas or lasagna or chicken bacon ranch sliders or whatever it is. Well, our youngest just turned 10 on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Luke. And he wanted, well, let's just say Luke is like a man. He's like a little man. For one, he's petite and oh so cute, but he's very big and he knows he's big time. He loves wearing a suit to school on dress-up days. He is the only kid I know that has worn out multiple suits, and we keep buying him new suits because he actually wears them and likes it. The dude also likes a good steak. So he said that for his birthday dinner this year, he wanted to go to Elwood Steakhouse, which is a nice steakhouse in a nearby town that we frequent. So we said, okay, Luke, let's see if we can make that happen. And there was going to be 4 of us, and then we have 2 older kids who are home for the summer. So he said there was going to be 6 of us. I called the restaurant to see if they had any openings, and they did. And then Luke said, well, I'd like to invite Ava's boyfriend, Logan. Logan goes on vacation with us. He goes out to eat with us. He has been a fixture in our household for a long time. So it wasn't weird that he wanted Logan to share at his birthday dinner. And then he said, well, I want both sets of grandparents to join too. And they both happen to be free. So we went from 4 people to 6 people, which is manageable. But now we've got 11 people and a steakhouse. If you've been to a steakhouse lately, I'm not talking Ponderosa or Sizzler for those of you who remember it from back in the day. But if you go to a steakhouse, it's going to be $50 a pop because people are probably going to order a drink. A steak is going to set you back probably about $40 at least. Gratuity, blah, 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 blah. So we said, oh man, this is getting kind of pricey. And I was sweating it. Let me go back. I was not sweating it. I was like, okay, we need a reservation for 11. But I was worried the conversation wasn't going to be good. A long table, you know how it is when you go to a big dinner. You only get to talk to the people like next to you and beside you. And there's not a lot of room for moving around. And suddenly this turned into like a legit birthday party-ish thing. So my husband said, it's not that big of a deal. Just go buy some steaks and sides from the butcher shop and call it good. And I wanted to strangle him. Like, really? It's not that hard? Let me go ahead and put together a steak dinner on a Tuesday night for 11 people? I know the look I gave him was not full of Jesus's love. I know I gave him such a dirty look. And in the defensive way that I can sometimes be, I'll own up to it, I said, okay, well, do you want to grill the steaks? And he said, I'll grill the steaks. I'm usually the steak griller. For some reason, when we got married almost 13 years ago, like he passed the tongs to me and was like, you are now in charge of the grill, which I had not had much experience with. But somehow, especially when I started this Farm Girl Cooks, I became the cook of all things. So he said, I'll do the grilling if you don't tell me that I'm doing it wrong. I said, oh, ouch. Okay. And so then okay, that's handled. And then I said, well, what are you going to do about, like, we need to have it dairy-free, gluten-free? He said, we'll do baked potatoes. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, sir, do you even know what it's like to put a meal together for 11 people? And truthfully, in my mind, I'm kind of sitting back like, yeah, let's see how he handles this. Like he can't do it like I do it. But I did take an effort to step back and really let him take the reins. And it was hard. But I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how that went. But here's how things actually went. The steak and the chicken were cooked wonderfully. There were things that weren't perfect. There were things that weren't like how I would have done them. There were parts where I stepped in and maybe just made a little tweak or got something that needed to be done. But that's teamwork, right? You don't just sit back. He wasn't a servant. I'm not some member of royalty. It was just a role reversal where I wasn't in charge. And the beauty of the entire thing was that I had the realization that I don't have to do it all, and that Luke had a wonderful birthday, and the guests had a nice meal, and I had relief. I was able to sit down and talk with my parents and chat with guests, which a lot of times I miss out on because I'm cleaning. And Ryan washed all the dishes while I was doing this, which I offered to help just, so you don't think I'm a bad person. But it was such a gift that he gave me by taking charge, and I learned something by letting go a little bit. The thing that caught me the most off guard was the exhale. Like, I didn't know how tight I'd been holding everything until I actually let go. But at that time, I didn't micromanage. I didn't hover. I practically sat on my hands to keep that from happening. But I got to spend time watching Luke open his presents. I got to laugh with our guests. I had steak that I didn't have to flip myself. And friends, that is freedom. For the next party, maybe I'll be the one that does all those things. Or better yet, maybe I'll say, hey, let's do this together. How can we work together to make this happen? That's a little snippet from my counselor, and I think it was so priceless. Like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Not everything has to be your way to be done well. And I think the biggest takeaway here is letting go is uncomfortable, but it's also necessary. For our mind, for our body, for our spirit. Like, we aren't meant to carry it all. That's why we have community. That's why we have family. That's why we have other people in our lives. Here are 5 things that I learned when someone else steps into the kitchen or your life. So if you are like me and it is hard to ask for help, start small. So think 1 meal, 1 task, 1 grocery trip. Just start small and see what that feels like to you. If you want to baby step into it, this is the way to go. The other thing that is really hard, and I know a lot of you feel it, is things that aren't done your way. So breathe through those moments, because it doesn't matter how it's done for the most part as long as it gets done. It's not wrong. It's just different. Number 3, make space for other people to lead. You don't always have to be the leader. You can follow other people, and you might be surprised at how people step up and what they're capable of. Number 4, celebrate the outcome, not the method. If everyone is fed and happy, that's a win. And number 5, say yes to help, even if it's not perfect. It's better to have imperfect help than burnout. Let's keep this conversation going. So comment, when was the last time you let someone take the reins in the kitchen or at home? Then hit the subscribe button. Luke always tells me, like, subscribe, share. Subscribe for more honest conversations about food, family, and life. Like this video if you were able to take a deep breath and let it go, or share with a friend who needs to hear that it's okay not to do it all.